Black Myth Wukong, one of the most anticipated games of the modern era, was first announced back in 2020, leaving people cautiously optimistic as they had to juggle with the fact that this game looked so amazing, but it might never come to the West or ever release at all, as this was the Chinese-based company Game Science's first major release. But alas, exactly 4 years later from when it was announced on August 20th, Wukong was released. But some time has passed now, and the hype has settled down, and I and many others can't shake the feeling that maybe we overhyped this game. Hey beautiful people of the world, you know who it is, that's One Panda. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you're ready to roll one up, because today we're going to be talking about Black Myth Wukong. Since Wukong has been released, I've seen the community split on this game. One side says this is a definite Game of the Year contender, and the other side not so much and believes it's just an alright game. So I want to explore that, and as someone who has put 30 plus hours into the game, I think I can confidently give my opinion on whether or not I believe this game is worthy of the Game of the Year title. And honestly, I believe it is not. I believe Black Myth Wukong has all the elements of a great game, but those different elements conflict with each other due to poor design and poor planning. And where it might exceed in one area, it holds back the other areas, and it hinders it. To fully explain what I'm trying to say, let's talk about what makes a Game of the Year winner a Game of the Year winner. The first thing that comes to mind when I think about Game of the Year, when I think of what won Game of the Year, I think about Deliverance. Does this game deliver the experience that it conveyed it would, or that the audience would expect? If you look at the past 5 Game of the Year winners, each game delivered what was expected of them. I turned on Baldur's Gate 3 and I met with a fully dynamic, open world, and fully fleshed out RPG experience, where I can create my own character how I see fit and go through the story choosing my own path and developing different relationship and seeing the game adapt to that. When I turn on It Takes Two, I expect to have an amazing fun co-op experience where I feel like I'm shrunk down to a little young person trying to rekindle their relationship and get their marriage back on track with another young person. I expect to be met with kooky enemies and fun little puzzles and platformer elements as I go through the story. The Last of Us, I should feel like the zombies are a threat. I should be sneaking past the zombies and try my best not to get caught, because one interaction could turn into a very deadly scenario. I should be managing my ammo in a world that isn't fully developed or alive anymore and using various tools to fight my enemies. So Wukong, what should we be feeling when we play Wukong? Well, I mean, that's pretty easy. I should be feeling like I am a monkey, for simple terms, or a powerful divine monkey on a quest to retrieve lost relics, who has multiple skills up their arsenal. But I don't feel like a monkey in this game at all. For such an interesting plot and setting that Game Science is trying to convey, the most important, vital part of it is missing. I don't feel like I am the main character at all. For one, I don't traverse the environment like a monkey, and that's because the map design of this game is very poor. From chapter 1, you get thrown into a pretty linear jungle with trees around you and cliffs and all that, but you don't swing from the trees, you don't climb on all fours, you don't do anything. You have this jump mechanic, but frankly, you can continue the game without it, and as a monkey, it's like, why am I so grounded? I'll talk more about this later, but not only in the movement do I feel this way, but combat too. Nothing of what Wukong does screams at me, oh, this dude's a monkey. I mean, you get enemies who are boars and make noises and charge at you and stuff, but Wukong's animations have no nod to him being him. I've not seen him really use his tail at all, or do anything monkeyish, really. A simple little, grab his staff with his tail or something would be so cool in a fight, but he doesn't do that. I don't feel like Wukong. The character is also mute, and I haven't read the myth, so take this opinion with a grain of salt, but apparently he's very short-tempered and more arrogant. People even say he can be clumsy. Again, I haven't read it, so I'm not too sure, but I don't get that type of feeling through this game because he's mute and doesn't do anything, and that type of style could work in games like Zelda and everything like that, but Wukong is an already established character. I expect to, learn more about him in this game a little, and I don't feel like him, like at all. There's no type of character development, no type of character personality. There's no nothing. I mean, this man literally gets transformed and thrown all over the place and says nothing. He gets transformed into like a beetle without him saying, yes, I want to get transformed to beetle. He doesn't even give his consent. He gets transformed to a bug and to a bird and all that, and no one asks him, hey, do you want to get transformed into this? They just do it to him. Like, bro, come on, ask him if he wants to be transformed, bruh. But this puts me into my next point. One thing that makes a Game of the Year winner is that it has to excel in art direction and design. The past 5 Game of the Year winners, I believe, cannot be argued that these games do not, 1, look beautiful, but 2, have good level and map design. And not just that, but they work well together. Not once playing Elden Ring, for example, did I think this gorgeous environment was hindering my playthrough. It was enhancing it. I loved exploring the different environments and little towns and little structures, and it just made the playthrough even better. Wukong is almost the same way. It looks amazing. The environment is breathtaking. You can tell Game Science was very confident in their art and graphics with the how many, look at how good my graphics are type of moments in this game, where the game just pans over the land and just showcases the different environments. This is literally what the meditate option literally does. You just sit down and you just look at how the mountains look and look at how the rivers look. You just look at it. It's a short cutscene, just like admire my graphics. I know I am that nigga. I did build this. It's pretty cool. It can actually be argued that the environment and map designs are actually clashing, thus hindering the game experience. God of War, for example, I clearly knew where I could go, how to get there, and where I could not go. The traversal mechanics were laid out to me in the beginning and stayed the same throughout the course of the game. And not once was I like, well, I could jump there on this ledge on this part of the map, so why can't I jump on this ledge at this part of the map? And that's the problem I have with Wukong. Wukong makes me want to play and keeps me intrigued with this unique and cool environment, but also disappoints me that it's holding itself back by not letting me get fully immersed in this world that it built. For starters, one complaint that I see a lot on the internet is about the invisible walls. It makes the game feel a little claustrophobic. I see a mountain with an opening, cool, let me go over there and see what it's about. I go and it's blocked off. There are places that seem like I should be able to go to, but it's closed off and I don't understand why. Why did you put it in the game if I couldn't go over there? It just leaves me confused and annoyed when I can't traverse the area that I should be able to go through. And again, to my point from earlier, I am a monkey. Let me climb and do stuff. Let me do monkey things as well. But I really want to highlight the inconsistency in this game. It really shows up when you get to the prison part of chapter 3. Throughout the game, you can get to the edge of a ledge and Wukong will do the little classic, ooh, I'm gonna fall, ooh, scary, you think I'm gonna fall? Nah, I'm just kidding, I can't fall, I can't really fall, I'm just joshing you. But then I get to the prison, maybe 10 to 15 hours into the game, and I'm walking down a pathway, and all of a sudden a freaking bat jumps out of a pitchfork and pushes me off the ledge. And I'm like, I never knew I could fall. Like, I never knew I had to look out for this. Not only am I shocked from the fact that I can now fall now, but the game does not work well with moving across narrow bridges or anything. The movement that Wukong can do is very limited. Wukong is a pretty stiff character. A quick little side note, why in the prison area does my health get randomly halved? There's really no explanation for this mechanic. Your character just walks around, then gets stunned, and gets his health halved. He gets hit with the Black Plague for no apparent reason. They don't introduce this mechanic at all. There's no where I can read about this. Maybe in like the game like little logs or whatever. But I just have to read about that when it's a game mechanic that is happening to me that impacts my experience. You should tell me as soon as I went to that area, hey, this is why your health is getting halved. My health is just halved for no apparent reason. And I was getting so angry with this, but I also wanted to keep playing because I wanted to see what was in store for the other environments, what the other environments looked like, and what other cool places I came across. But the more I was exploring, the more I got annoyed with the beautiful world it was creating, especially in the prison chapter. In the prison chapter, there's this archer shooting from a ledge, and you cannot reach the archer. He's guarding like this treasure chest, and literally you have to kind of lure him off, but he won't get lured off. You kind of have to like keep spamming your staff or whatever to get him off the ledge. And it's like, again, I can't jump, I can't reach him or anything. There's no way to get to him. Why is he able to just snipe me like that? This is poor level design. Why would you put a monster on a place I cannot reach? So it's just like, I can't fight him effectively. Speaking of coming across enemies, the amount of times I come across random bosses, die, then can't figure out how to get to them is very infuriating. I don't understand why this game does not have a minimap. No minimap does not enhance the user experience. I remember back when Dragon's Dogma 2 was releasing and the whole rollout was happening for that, people were getting on the creator's head for wanting to have very limited fast travel. And his explanation was he wants people to explore the world and run into different things and run into like the random things, events that can happen in the game. And he felt like fast travel would make the player kind of avoid all that, which, as much as I don't fully agree with him, I can see where he's coming from because that does make sense. But with the minimap, there is completely no argument for why you can't have a minimap in the game. It does not enhance the user experience. With the Dragon's Dogma, yes, I have to walk from place to place, but I could find a cool cave on the way from point A to point B and I could decide to explore it later. With Wukong, I can't. With Wukong, I'm running around a snow map with literally no landmarks trying to find out where the dumb big plant nigga was that beat my ass. What is the point? And I know some people might be like, it's a linear game, you don't need a minimap, blah blah, it's not that hard. And look, I'm happy for a linear game. I am burnt out of open world games, and when I found out this was a boss rush, I was super excited. But it is not an excuse for them to not have a minimap and have poor map design, because games have solved this issue in the past. A perfect example of this is Remnant 2, one of my favorite games of 2023. A game that is procedurally generated and with alternate routes and many secret places and mini bosses, yet it has a linear design, just like Wukong, but it has a minimap. A minimap that is not only 3D, but it highlights places that you have not explored yet in red. And when you do explore it, it goes back to the normal, gray map color. I'm ecstatic that a small company has found out a way to solve this issue. And Wukong didn't even come close. They completely just removed the minimap. I'm like, that is not the answer to your problems. A big part of what makes a Game of the Year contender a Game of the Year contender is if it can succeed in the genre that it's in. Is The Witcher 3 a good action RPG? Is It Takes Two a good co-op platformer? Is Wukong a good action RPG game? And yes, it is, for the most part. The skills are super cool and unique. The way I can summon shadow clones of myself and feel like Naruto and beat someone's ass is so cool. The different stances I can get, and then the skills within each stance allow me to accommodate to each enemy differently, and it's just so nice. Dodging feels fluid, and it's so satisfying when I get a perfect dodge and I get the little whoosh sound notifying me that I dodged the enemy's strike just in the nick of time. Black Myth Wukong has a pretty good combat system with a plethora of different enemies to fight, and different skills and spells to accommodate different enemies accordingly. From the bosses to the goons, they all feel different and unique and fun to fight in their own way. I also love that the weapon of choice in this game is a staff. It feels different from the generic big ass sword or fucking samurai sword type of formula we've been getting for years, making the combat really feel different and fun. Except when I'm in the middle of a fight trying to take a sip of my Kool-Aid jammer and he's just not listening to me. Just like how I said the environment clashes with the map design, the amazing combat is stifled with the jankiness of the game at times. Sometimes buttons are unresponsive, which could be the deciding factor between you losing or not. This is especially apparent when you're trying to do the R2 L2 transformation and this man just refuses to listen. He just keeps spinning his little stick around or opening up the spell menu and he just doesn't know what to do. It feels like it should have been an easy fix that you should have noticed before launch. This makes the game very inconsistent, especially when you start fighting enemies that are buggy or a little unfair for the system that it's built around. The camera feels too tight and it feels way too claustrophobic on me, and this is especially noticeable when I fight multiple enemies and the camera cannot keep up with everything on the screen, or when I'm fighting flying enemies. It just can't handle that at all. When you fight that one dragon in chapter 3 that's in the water, trying to keep your camera tracked on it is so frustrating because he's just going around the place and the camera does not know what to do and constantly disconnects, and trying to make it so like, hey, click on this dude, I want to focus on him. It's like, what? You want me to focus on him? What should I do? But not only that, sometimes you can't even hit the hitbox when you're in front of it because the part of the combo you're at does not allow you to hit up. Why do I have combos that cannot reach taller enemies? I don't understand. It's very frustrating. Or what about that rat dude in chapter 2 that can just get out of your range out of the tornado and you could freeze him with your freeze spell or whatever, but he would be out of your range, so you just wasted it. And I did enjoy fighting him, but I did feel like a lot of his move connects were very inconsistent and I would jump out of away from his moves and I feel like it did not hit me, but then it did. Again, I did enjoy fighting him. I did enjoy fighting the dragon dude as well, but I can't help but notice a lot of the times I died or while I was fighting them, I felt like I couldn't apply the stuff I learned each time because it was very inconsistent. Or what about the dude with the literal space lasers? I'm not equipped to fight no Star Wars type of enemies. Some minor complaints I do have with this game, and I won't hold it against game science or Wukong or anything, is I feel like the combat should have been more varied than it is. In my head, I thought Wukong was going to be more of an action RPG type of game that allows me to unlock different combos and string different combos together, but a light attack stays the same throughout the entire game. The weapons that you unlock all feel the same to me as well. There's really no variation between the weapons. This is just a personal side note and I won't hold it against the game or anything, it's just something I wish he'd done differently. The next side note I have is that the gourd brewing system is too confusing and too convoluted. There's 3 steps I have to take to figure out what type of healing I want and how to upgrade my drinks, and how to upgrade my gourd. It's all in different menus, and I feel like they all could have just made it into one menu. I feel like it did not need to be spaced out like that. I know it seems like I'm shitting on this game, but I actually do really enjoy this game and I do plan on finishing it. I'm really happy that Game Science were able to publish such a great game, but I don't want them to be praised for a lot of amateur design flaws and mistakes. And these flaws cannot be ignored. because the biggest and most important thing that makes a Game of the Year winner a Game of the Year winner is that it's consistent. I really was excited for this game, and I thought this game was going to be different. Granted, we didn't really know what this game would be till like 2 weeks before the game release. Like, we didn't even know it was a boss rush till 2 weeks before, and we found this out from the people that played the game early. They told the community about how it was a boss rush type of game, and it left the community surprised because no one really knew it would be that type of game, and kind of left them hesitant if they wanted to buy it or not. But I took it as like, oh yeah, I need to get this game. Game science, if you're watching this video, which you probably aren't, I hope you take my critiques well and don't perceive it as hate, and hopefully look at what you did great and what you did a little bit poor on and learn from it and apply it to your next game, because I think you have something amazing here, and I feel like just a little more time could have made this game 10 times better. Overall, I think the devs are really talented and really ambitious and has some great plans for the game. The game had so much stuff going on, it was overall limited in what it could accomplish. The game is holding itself back. With that, tell me what you guys think about this game. Tell me what you guys like about it. Tell me what you don't like. I'm very curious to hear you guys' opinion on this game. I want this to be an open and friendly discussion in the comments. I'm really curious what you guys' thoughts are. I hope you guys liked the video. Please like, please subscribe. More videos on the way. Please watch my old videos. I'd really appreciate it. Please follow me on all social media at DasFunPanda. And hope you guys have a good day. Peace.